Hi listeners, welcome to my channel. We are experiencing the quintile aspect of Jupiter-Uranus cycle that is the driver of disruptive evolution our generation is experiencing. Quintile is an aspect that is not frequently talked about. We'll talk about it today because it is essential to this cycle's progression. This cycle will come to conclusion in April 2024, but we will have the sextile aspect of this Jupiter-Uranus cycle in February of 2022. So it is important to understand the process to it. In addition, we are experiencing North Node Chiron sextile, which is giving an outlet to any wounds or any need of healing we have been experiencing, and an opportunity to make use of words to heal those wounds. We'll talk about both today. My name is Charu and I'm your host on this journey. So let's dig in. One question that North Node sextile Chiron is going to ask us this week, and that question is, do we indulge in our wounds or do we rise above them? Each of our wounds or trauma is typically looking for validation, and being able to make that wound worse sometimes gratifies our subconscious, as we can then scream louder or bring attention to those who we think can help us, but who truly cannot do anything to heal that trauma. This indulgence, like any other indulgence, delays the healing, prolongs the trauma, and yes, sometimes it adds to the suffering created within us, which we might be experiencing right now. But sometimes, like a screaming child, that wounds just wants attention. Sometimes, like a wailing person who has lost someone, it just hopes God or fate will reverse its doing. Sometimes, like a hailstorm, it just wants to rain down misery on everyone around it cause it's miserable itself. That wound in this situation where we are indulging in it makes for a spectacle. Some watch because they have been waiting for us to break down, to validate themselves. Some watch because they love us and they want to catch us when we fall. And some watch because we remind them of their own trauma and it validates their own wounding. Today, as we drown in the Pisces Moon-Neptune conjunction, North Node in Gemini is making a connection with this latent wound within us. When North Node in Gemini makes a connection with a wound, it gives an opportunity for us to put words to that wound. It gives us an opportunity to give it mindshare, to think about it, to talk about it, to discuss it, sometimes even objectively look at it. And it also opens a door for us to grow from it. Will we take that door? Will we be willing to step out of our comfort zone of indulging in the wound to take a road out of it? It's almost like how we move forward depends on it. Because the moment we step out of the wound and the damage it has done, it would seem that the resources and the allies are waiting for us. In another tack, sometimes moving forward on our life path, irrespective of our wound, can help us move past those hurts. It's almost like if we grow in our life path, we can outgrow some of those wounds. These are the wounds of identity, of not being enough as a person, of not being validated for our uniqueness, of not being valued for our uniqueness, and of our past failure to act or stand up for ourselves. As Venus trines Pluto right now, emotions can get very intense and relationship wounds can come up to surface and they would need words. Will we open those wounds and draw on the perspective that we have gotten after having gone through the process of it? Would we draw on that perspective? Would we draw on those perspectives to help someone out? Never underestimate your ability to help someone or heal someone using your words, using your mind, using your own wounds. And that is highlighted by this aspect. Never underestimate your ability to channel your pain into something creative that can heal others. Moon Neptune together makes for compassion. Compassion for our differences that we are experiencing right now, in how we choose to heal from the trauma we have been through. Remember, the others in your life carry their own wounds too, and they are also looking for validation. Some of those conflicts that we observe right now, they come from that need for validation of our wounds. North Node is our soul's evolution in this lifetime, and this aspect it's making with Chiron points to that evolution of our soul being seeded in pain and healing. Chiron is our wound that would not heal, but we would always have something to offer to others coming from it. And in sextile with North Node, we could offer them healing in words, in facts, in staying objective, no matter what our belief system is. Chiron is a collective wound of our generation. And like the last generation of Chiron and Aries, which were the war children, we would have to dust our wounds and rebuild instead of wallowing in our wound. It just is the nature of Chiron and Aries. Right now, North Node offers those rare moments when we can talk to others about it objectively, learn more about how to heal from it, open our mind to evolution beyond the wound, understand different opinions on how we heal, because everyone's healing is going to look different. Everybody's wound is unique, so their road to healing will be different as well. And we all have the opportunity today and this week to look at those differences in our road to healing in an objective fashion. Today's aspect also offers potential to serve others in some ways through what we have gone through. It offers us hope that as we would progress towards our destiny, as we start working forward towards our life path, by staying objective and in the now, with our minds open, the wounds would lose their hold on us. In addition to this week offers us creative intensity. We see through things we would normally not see through. In creativity, in relationships, and in money matters. We have opportunity to evolve all of them on more authentic terms, whether it is our relationship, it is our creative output, or our money matters. The wound has a purpose. And for some of us, the purpose is to express the creative suffering within us. We are experiencing the quintile phase of 13-year Jupiter-Uranus cycle, which was planted in 2011 with Arab Spring. And in a typical Venus trine Pluto way, I went pretty deep down into the cycle, and now I'm going to talk about it to some extent, as it's a critical cycle in our generation's disruptive evolution. And we are in the last quarter of that evolution, which was planted in a human revolution, in a protest, in a asking for equality of opportunity. To start with, the opposition phase of this cycle happened in 2017. That is normally the moment when two different parts of ourselves are given birth to. We start seeing two different opposite sides of our own psyche. And that opposition sometimes is seen in relationships as well. There's a clear split which is seen in terms of difference of opinion in the society, difference in opinion in relationships, and that opposition brings that to surface. And that was 2017. We had the US elections coinciding, and the results of the US elections coinciding with that cycle. This is followed by quincunx, which happened in November of 2018. Normally, that is the stage when either those differences are moved positively from where we evolve together, or those differences become even wider. And the clear way forward is to part ways, either in our society, in our relationships, or even within us. Sometimes the two part of us that we are trying to reconcile, sometimes the only way out is to live one of them. Then we had the trine in December 2019. That's when a new vision is given birth to, coming out of that disruption, coming out of those differences. And after that, we had the square, which happened in January of 2021. That square completely brings us out of inertia. The disruption which initiated in 2017 through two opposing parts of our life, which grew in dissonance in 2018, giving birth to a new vision in end of 2019 and throughout 2020, came to its phase of removing all inertia in January of 2021. That is now coming for its expression phase. The quintile phase, which is happening right now, it opens the doors to influx of creative spirit post a period of disruption that shakes our status quo and inertia part of us. That shaking up, which began in January with the Jupiter-Uranus square, where we sort of challenged our own inertia of not moving forward in our evolution. And the more you challenged your own inertia, the more the disruptive activities you have observed over the course of especially the past 4-5 months and since 2017, the more we will come out of a collective sea into our individuality. The more creative influx we would experience in this quintile phase, because this quintile phase is a fifth harmonic aspect and everybody does not respond to its unique frequency. We have to have shed some skin, gone through some trauma, gone through some changes which are very disruptive in our life to be able to experience the fifth harmonic phase of this cycle. The people who respond to fifth harmonic vibration aren't geniuses in traditional sense. They are the ones who actually transcend traditional definition and labels of society through higher consciousness. And they become the mouthpiece of divine. They become the channels. They reveal the patterns others don't see and channel the message not seen in the past. They may not produce the greatest work in the sense of size of audience, but their work is supposed to express their true spirit. And the spirit is meant to dissolve obsolete structures and show patterns of new living and new archetype. This is the set of people who vibrate the future. And having gone through harsh aspects, ripping off all their external pretense, as well as their own inertia, they have nothing but spirit to show for themselves. Because the quintile connects Aquarius and Taurus houses, because we are having right now Jupiter in Aquarius, making a quintile with Uranus in Taurus. It links the traditional assets, financial markets and resources. And somewhere down the line, the creative distribution of wealth will come into focus. Creative ways of making wealth common people's wealth creation ideas, which is more equal to or the new age technology which equalize the financial world and the abundance to all. It also highlights artists operating under this quintile who would create the art for the sake of the art, irrespective of the reaction of the society. Jupiter is going to move into Pisces, and this quintile will convert into a creative aspect in the coming days. Because Jupiter in Pisces is about spirituality, is about creativity, is about our heart, is about our higher octave of love. Creating for the sake of existence, for the sake of, because you need to give meaning to your existence. That becomes the quintile creative output, where the art is created or any work of spirit is created for the sake of creation and not for the sake of reaction on the society. It's created because you're restless in creativity, because there's a sheer compulsion to create. You feel uneasy if you don't create it, and you need to channel what's coming to you. We will reach the stage somewhere down the line where this expression, where this creative expression becomes an impression on the collective, where it starts molding the outer world, where it starts molding the society. But that will only happen in February of 2022, where we would translate from pure creativity to becoming an output which is a need of the time. Right now, there is no relationship between the creator and the audience, or the spiritual leader and those he or she needs to lead. So the creative can be expressed without an eye on how it is affecting the society. It's pure creation. This challenge we will experience to actualize the inner potential of our own creative genius is available to all of us, provided we are able to transcend and vibrate at its frequency. Provided our creativity is not tainted. We have reached the stage which is called creative formulation stage of the cycle. We have to creatively express and to some extent plan. We need to assimilate the difference or separation in life that we experienced between two contrasting parts of ourselves or our life in 2017, understand the further widening of this gap which happened in 2018, leading to birth of a vision in end of 2019, furthered by 2020, which showed how we can integrate the two parts of us and our life, and January 2021, which showed the necessity to put form to this vision or put an actionable solution to the problem. The trine of December 2019, which extended to 2020 and mingled with another cycle, which was Saturn-Pluto cycle, would have shown a way through force, through events which were happening to reconcile the difference that 2017 opposition showed in your life. It could be opposition between two parts of yourself. It could be a relationship difference that was becoming evident in 2017. And you have seen a way to reconcile and move forward from it. Now, can you make that work in concrete form? That is the question, because quintile is the moment when we need to creatively express the output. Having gone through the turbulence, having gone through the wound, having gone through the opening and the transcend process that comes through hurt, it comes through wound, it comes through hard aspects. Now we are in the letting it channel, letting it formulate phase. Can we formulate a creative expression or a plan from it without caring for the audience at this moment? Because the audience will come in 2022. The moment will come when we can mold the society or our audience, or support our audience and the society using that. Right now, it is pure creative genius and expression, which is not influenced by the audience. As I said, very few of us are able to vibrate at its frequency. But if you have that gift, it's the time to use it. It's the time to start expressing it. And it doesn't matter who it is shown to, how many people see it. It doesn't even matter if it is a genius work of art or not. It is your spirit wanting to be validated, wanting to be expressed, wanting its life to be expressed. And that's what the quintile is trying to formulate for us. So that's what I have for you today. Good luck, and I'll see you soon. Thank you.